Hi, Geminis. You're already wanting to talk. Queen of Wands is our first card out. We are going to see what wants to come through for Geminis in November 2019. Knight of Coins, also eager to escape the deck. Let me fix our music. So even though we've reached mid-November 2019, for some of you, these messages, gems, may still have to do with the entire month of November. For others, it may just be these last couple of weeks that we're looking at. We are using the Game of Thrones tarot deck today. If you're interested in these images or any of the decks that I use on Lunartics Tarot readings, just scroll down to the description box down below. Definitely want to get a few more cards out for you regarding November 2019 and maybe moving even into December as well. Now, as always, these messages also may just be for whenever they find you and resonate. And they might be for Gemini. They really could be for anyone because they're for Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, or if you have Gemini in any other placement or are particularly interested in a house that Gemini rules, or maybe just even found the reading by happen chance, because we all have all of these energies in our charts all the time. They're just simply highlighted at different times, ruling us at different times for different reasons. The Ace of Swords flew out. And I pretty much have a rule of thumb that when they sort of helicopter down, and I'm not sure which direction they were supposed to be in, that I flip them upright then. All the cards carrying all of their energies upright and reversed all of the time. However, in this case, we're going to see if this Ace of Swords resurfaces. The truth is an issue here, gems. The truth is an issue. Should you lie? Should you tell the truth? You're so uncertain that the reading the cards, I am uncertain what you're advised to do here. Do you have to decide now is a good question with the Seven of Chalices showing here in your recent past position. Your near future position is the Six of Swords. So I do see you moving toward calmer mental and emotional states. And it looks like you're creating that for yourself. You're rejuvenating yourself. You are finding hope in a situation that feels hopeless. I think someone has been dishonest with you, gems, and it leaves you feeling pretty hopeless, but you are finding hope. And that's why you're headed toward a calmer mental and emotional state. The vibe I'm getting, the feeling is like, thanks to no one else. Thanks to you insisting on holding on to that hope, right? But you've been confused, you've been a little lost, and ultimately something has to come to a painful ending so that it ends. You know, you hear that sometimes things don't end if they don't end badly. Something needs to end. It's going to end. It's going to be over here by the end of the month, moving into December. And it's a painful ending, but it's a painful ending to what was likely a very painful cycle, a negative cycle. On the bottom of the deck is the King of Wands. So for some of you, this is about a relationship. It is about a soul tie. It is about a divine partnership, because we have the Queen of Wands in the center of the reading and the King of Wands then on the bottom of the deck, or spears in this deck. But it is the Queen and King of Fire nonetheless. So that could be a soulmate relationship. Maybe you identify it as a twin flame, especially a twin flame relationship, because I normally don't want to get too specific with that type of definition unless it is a personal reading. Information about personal readings can be found down below as well. Yeah, so in a general reading, I especially think you might think this person is your twin flame, because it's the Queen and King of Fire that shows up for us. And it is not necessarily a romantic partnership. Twin flames are not necessarily a romantic partnership, right? Now, that depends on your school of thought. And I really try not to get too much into, again, those types of specifics in a general reading, or just into differentiating between soulmates, twin flames, life partners, etc. Sometimes in a personal reading, though, that is exactly what is necessary. But the point is that it's a partnership that feels fated, soulful, divine to you, and there's likely a karmic contract involved, or a soul contract of some kind involved here. But it looks like either that has to come to an end, or something has to come to an end because of it. I want to draw a few clarifiers for you as well, gems. We've got the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot that we'll use for that. It looks like you are currently progressing slowly and steadily toward a goal. Yeah, it looks like you've been progressing slowly and steadily toward a goal. I wonder what goal. It's taking you to this calmer mental and emotional state, that's for sure. This may be someone around you, actually. It can be for some of you, but I think for most of you, it is you. You're progressing so slowly and steadily toward a goal, feeling the need to pay so much attention to detail along your path, along the way, that it's taking too long. It's taking so long to harvest the fruits of your labor. You're starting to feel a little complacent, as if you may give up on this goal. And what I can absolutely 100% tell you from the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Coins, both showing up upright in this very short, condensed reading, is that if you resonate with this, if this message is for you, you giving up on that goal is the only thing that can stop you from getting there. Now, as far as the timing, how long must you wait? How long will it take you to get there? Again, in a personal reading, we can ask that question specifically. And moreover, you can ask that question for yourself specifically if you have a tarot deck, or get a tarot deck and you don't want to pay for a reading. I use cups as days, swords as weeks, wands as months, and pentacles as years. And I do keep the major arcana in there for additional guidance and messages. But if you want, take those major arcanas out of the deck and meditate and get centered and ask, how long must I wait? I do that for certain things for myself. But we can also do it in a personal reading. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of whether getting to this goal takes another day or another decade, you deciding to give up on it is the only thing that can ultimately actually completely stop you from getting there. It may take longer than you want. It seems that we have the Nine of Swords as a clarifier on that Knight of Coins, so it seems that having to move so slowly and steadily, having to pay attention to all of the details is worrisome to you. It's keeping you up at night. It's making your hours long. It's making you doubt yourself. And yet that's what the journey requires. So just know that. I think because it's Mercury retrograde, it might be a great time to take a break. I've been trying to talk myself into that. I almost didn't do the rest of, even embark on trying to do, we'll say, the rest of the readings for November. You're the third one as far as individual signs that I've gotten out. I've done a lot of readings for the collective. And I almost had to talk myself into that kind of break, gems. And I think, and for some of you, that may be exactly what's called for, because this Nine of Swords energy is no bueno, right? This is nothing that you can work with. And so if, as you progress slowly and steadily, as you pay attention to those details, if you're doubting yourself, criticizing yourself, worrying, for some of you, just straight out crying every step along the way because it's taking so long, etc., it really feels like it's time for a break. Whatever it is that is causing that fear, though, I feel like that is what's coming to a painful ending here. So that may just be you pushing yourself too hard, trying to stay on a schedule that isn't working for you. So it's likely because your energies have been so scattered here in the recent past, you weren't sure which route to take toward this goal, maybe just which path to choose in general, that you've ended up in this situation that's so worrisome, full of fear and doubt. That indecision, that confusion, or maybe even a tendency toward escapism here in the recent past is likely why you're holding on to this fear. But I feel the need to tell you all, even if November and even December, even if the entire end of 2019 is shot, if you just need to take a Mercury retrograde break, you just need to retreat into meditation, that doesn't mean that 2020 is shot, right? That doesn't mean you can't continue toward that goal. And I have to say, I sense that for a lot of you, that this is a goal you're going to continue to pursue into the next year, whether you like that timeline or not. It's insane how many of my readings wind around to be about surrendering to divine timing. It just seems that there's a lot of people who reach out to me, people who find these messages, who resonate, that are struggling with that, with surrendering to divine timing. Of course, we want to exercise as much control as possible, but the trick is to realize and embrace that not only is divine timing most often unavoidable, inevitable, something that you can't get around, but also it is always better than the plan that you would make for yourself. It takes into consideration all the things that you can't see. When we don't even have the Wheel of Fortune on the table, but I can sense that's what this is about, especially since your advice here is to hold out hope. And I see that some of you are leaning toward becoming a little complacent even. It seems like it's obviously a rather dark time, Gems, for all this fear and worry to be showing up as a clarification right at the center of the reading, and for the message of it's always darkest before the dawn to come through. But that's as your piece of advice. So yes, keep that in mind, but also you're the one who is going to have to pick yourself up here. You're the one who is going to have to hold out that hope. There may be a sign from the divine. If not, you can certainly ask for one. But other than that, it is just you holding out hope, you having to know that that darkness is before the dawn, and holding on to that. And also by the end, I'd say, certainly by the end of November, if not sooner, there is this transition into a calmer mental and emotional state. And when you achieve that, the clarity, when you reach rather the clarity that comes along with that calmer mental and emotional state, for some of you, it means actually getting out of where you are physically in order to find that calm, then things will be clear. Or rather, within that clarity, it will be, within that space, what will be clear is that there has to be this painful ending in order to get rid of a negative cycle. And it really may be with someone who is a twin flame energy for you, but you certainly aren't meant to be around one another or working together at the present time. For others, though, we're talking about something that's blocking that type of union from coming together. And for still others of you, we're talking about these two separate parts of yourself. So where you have been in the recent past sort of confused as to how to pursue your goal, currently you feel inspired and persuasive, but still lacking a little structure and how to implement your ideas and your energy and ground it and make a real practical plan, product, business maybe, or something tangible out of that inspiration, that fire. And so a lot of you are going to be, you know, able to persuade others to help you in that. Just be careful about carrying this 9 of wands, or I'm sorry, 9 of swords, 9 of air energy into those types of partnerships, into those types of dealings, right? It feels like it really may be time for you to do just that. Delegate responsibility to others who you can persuade and inspire to do the type of work that needs done, while it needs done slowly, and all the attention needs paid to the details, right? So that you can take a break. Because this 9 of swords energy is not, it's not helping. If you bring that type of consciousness to the task of paying attention to details, one, it's going to take twice as long, and two, then there's reason to worry because you may make a mistake, right? And that's what's happening with Mercury retrograde. Some of you you need to take a break. That's where the calmer mental and emotional state comes in. That's where the clarity comes in. And that's where you realize who you should really be partnered with, or which parts of you really need to grow and shine in order to reach this goal and feel confident that you are going to as you pursue it, right? And during that break, whether it's just for a day, a week, or the whole end of 2019 or longer, don't lose hope that just because you aren't pushing, you aren't on the path, you aren't doing the work. Sometimes that's what the path and the work looks like, is stepping back, meditating, surrendering to the will of the planets, and making sure you have a clear perspective of what's going on, what needs to end, where you're heading. Sometimes it's just what it looks like. So, and sometimes for some of us, and for mutable air, I'm sure this is particularly significant. Sometimes that's the hardest part of the work, right? I can truly relate to that as a Taurus. I feel like I should just be pushing. And sometimes it's hard to remember part of the work is stepping back and making myself take a break. So with that, gems, just continue to make the most of Scorpio season, continue to make the most of the rest of November, the rest of 2019, and do keep in mind that may mean sort of making your wishes come true by taking it easy, taking it slow. This Knight of Pentacles energy that wants you to embody it, right, wants to take it slow. The fact of the matter is, with the Knight of Pentacles energy, this knight is always getting where they're going, right? Because they're going so slowly, because they're so determined and paying attention to details. But the attitude that this individual carries is totally up to them, right? As always. So as you're progressing toward that goal slowly and steadily, readjust so that the feeling you carry with that isn't disgruntled and frustrated. That's what is suggested here. It's muddling your mind. It's weighing heavily on your heart. And those things do manifest into physical ailments. So readjust that disgruntled energy. Can you progress slowly and steadily toward the goal while enjoying the scenery? While enjoying the ride, while keeping in mind that it is this journey that you're on that is truly more meaningful than reaching the goal itself. It is, right? We know these things. We know this. So that's what you're asked. That's the readjustment you're asked to do here. And in that space, you'll know what has to come to an end. And you will know how to end it, even though it may be painful. So good luck, gems. I love you. And again, information on personal readings, donations, all of that good stuff down below. I truly look forward to doing another reading for you just as soon as I can.